All right, good Sunday morning, everyone. So we're gonna do another quick update on Melissa. So Melissa is currently a catastrophic Category 4 hurricane, with the latest National Hurricane Center advisory showing that Melissa contains maximum sustained winds of 140 miles per hour, with a minimum central pressure of 952 millibars. And right now, it is located just to the south of Jamaica. As you can see, Jamaica is right up here where I'm circling with my cursor, and it is moving very, very slow to the west at about 5 miles per hour. And as you can see on IR imagery here, an eye has since formed on Melissa, as Melissa underwent rapid intensification, as I said it would. It was once the inner core formed, it was game on. Melissa was able to rapidly intensify. I mean, at this time yesterday, we were talking winds. Maximum sustained winds that Melissa contained were 70 miles per hour. We're double that now. We doubled the wind speed in 24 hours. That is impressive. I mean, but when you get these very warm sea surface temperatures like we have in the Caribbean right now of 30 degrees plus, 30 degrees Celsius plus, not Fahrenheit, that would be cold, but 30 degrees Celsius plus, and then you get light to moderate vertical wind shear. Once you get the inner core formed, which we have a nice inner core right here, and it's surrounded by very, very intense convection, as you can see by the very, very cold cloud tops around the eye there, and the eye is cleared out very well. I'll show you on the true color here. You can see the eye is very, very clear, and you have nice outflow in every single quadrant of this storm, as you can see by the clockwise rotation around the main part of the hurricane, which is rotating counterclockwise. And like you can see here, Melissa is ever so slowly drifting to the west, but it's continuing to strengthen and intensify. And I would not be shocked if this thing reaches Category 5. And I think it's going to reach Category 5 at some point today. It's going to be a Category 5, I think, by landfall. I think Jamaica is in store for a Category 5 hurricane, and that is, I'm not exaggerating. I really think that this is a possibility. This storm is continuing to intensify. It's in phenomenal conditions if you want a nice, big, long, strong hurricane. It's in perfect conditions for that. I think it's game on at this point. We're going to look at the hurricane models. We're going to look at the HAPS-A. We're going to look at the HAPS-B and the HORF, and then we're going to move on. We're not looking at the global models. We know where this thing is going to go. We have a very clear picture of where this thing is going to go. We don't need to look at the global models now. We're going to look at the mesoscale, the ones that pick up nicely on this stuff. So this is the HAPS-A, and as you can see, this is 8 p.m. tonight, and it shows a pressure of 937 millibars, which I think is achievable. I think we could easily drop another 30 millibars or so, give or take. Not exactly 30 millibars, but I think it's doable with the conditions that we're in. I want to show you what the shear is right now, where it's yellow right over. It's yellow and green. It's becoming more favorable. So it's in a region of more favorable shear and still in a region of very warm waters. I think that we could drop to 937 or even lower by 8 p.m. tonight. I think it's going to continue to intensify overnight. And then we're going to move this along here, and it continues to intensify up until landfall. Up until landfall Jamaica, this thing is intensifying, but it's also moving very slow, which is going to be very problematic for Jamaica. That's going to cause extreme amounts of rain, very, very, very catastrophic flash flooding, and extreme life-threatening storm surge. I mean, you can't even stress it enough how extreme of a situation this is going to be. I mean, I really do feel for these people, but we're going to keep moving on. We're going to keep chugging along here quick. And the HAPS-A model has it making landfall around afternoon on the 28th, which is Tuesday, as a catastrophic Category 5 hurricane. And I'll show you here what the wind speeds are. I'm going to move this up just a little bit, just so that you can see it a little bit better. We're going to move this along, and then here we're approaching landfall, and here we are early Tuesday afternoon, landfall in Jamaica with a Category 5 hurricane. And I'll show you what right before landfall, we're showing maximum sustained winds of 137, 154 knots, which is around 100. It's 160 plus miles per hour is what we're talking at landfall. I mean, this is going to be absolutely devastating. This is the HAPS-B model. It shows a very similar solution, continues to intensify up until landfall in a very, very favorable environment. And then, it takes a little bit of a more westward track, but that's really not a big deal at this point. It's going to make landfall somewhere in Jamaica, and that's the important part to take note of. Don't get caught up in the where is it going to make landfall. That does not matter. This thing is massive. This thing is catastrophically strong. It doesn't matter where exactly it makes landfall. All right, so then this is the HAPS-B model here. We're going to take a look at the HORF model, and then we're going to move on to something else here I want to show you. And just like the other ones, it continues to intensify up until landfall. Now this one is a little bit even further west, but it's still a catastrophic Category 4 or 5 hurricane at time of landfall in Jamaica. And then let's not forget our friends in Cuba, which I'm going to do another video on Cuba later this evening. I don't want to forget about Cuba, but right now we need to focus on Jamaica. Jamaica is going to be the one that's hit first, and then we'll talk about Cuba. We're going to talk about Cuba in a later video. But Cuba is going to be impacted by a major hurricane because this thing is not going to weaken all that much in between hitting Jamaica, and it's going to pass over another passageway of warm waters here. It's going to stay strong. It's going to be a major Category 3 or 4 hurricane by the time it hits Cuba. So Cuba is going to have major, major impacts from this too. And it's going to be, this is going to be absolutely devastating. This is the rainfall prediction from the National Hurricane Center for Melissa. And we're talking upwards of 40 inches in some places in Jamaica. Upwards of 40 inches of rain. This is going to cause massive mudslides on the mountainous regions, and this is going to cause tremendous flash flooding. You're going to get places that don't normally flood to flood. 40 inches of rain in a 24, 48 hour period, that is an insane amount of rain. And that is going to be probably one of the biggest problems is the flash flooding. You're going to have 160 mile per hour plus winds too, and that's going to be absolutely insane. But the rain in and of itself is going to be a huge problem. And this is why the National Hurricane Center has issued a hurricane warning for the entirety of Jamaica, with hurricane watches issued up into Cuba, and then tropical storm watches or warnings, in western parts of Haiti. But like I was telling you guys yesterday, so Hurricane Melissa today was a tropical storm yesterday. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to rapid intensification. Rapid intensification, once the inner core gets organized, it's game on. These things can grow strong, and they can grow strong quick. And I want to tell you, I wrote down, so this is per the NHC, the National Hurricane Center. Rapid intensification is defined as an increase in maximum sustained winds of a tropical cyclone of at least 30 knots in a 24-hour period, 35 miles per hour. We went from 70 to 140 miles per hour. We doubled our wind speeds, and we went double what the definition is per the National Hurricane Center. And that is impressive. I'm going to do one more thing here. I'm showing you the animated streamlines for Melissa. This is the surface right here. We're going to move up. This is 850 millibars, 700 millibars, 500 millibars, and boom, 200 millibars. We are talking a vertically stacked hurricane, and that is why this thing is able to strengthen. It's now vertically stacked. It's in a region of favorable wind shear. It's in a region of very warm waters. This thing is going to keep on growing until it can't anymore. And I think that the sky is the limit at this point. I'm thinking my prediction is Category 5 at landfall for Jamaica sometime late Tuesday morning, early Tuesday afternoon, and devastating impacts. Then it's still going to be a major Category 3 or 4 hurricane by the time it hits Cuba. That's my prediction. Let's wait to see how this unfolds, but stay with us throughout the entirety of the event. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like and subscribe. Thank you. Go Bills.